How's everyone doing? This is another What Didn't Make the Shelf video. And this is a video series where I show you movies, in this case, movies and a couple of vinyl records that didn't make the shelf, aka collection. And I'm trying to thin down the collection. And I'm still going to be buying movies too. For some people, some commenters on here, that I can't seem to comprehend that. I'm still going to be buying movies that I want. Ultimately, I'm going to be more selective about my purchases, especially blind buys. I can't do that quite as much, which I should have been doing for a while anyways. But what I want to do is for every movie I get in, I'm going to get 2 out the door. That's the goal. So I usually get in around 30 movies a month. I'm trying to get out 60 movies a month. And, I've got a little under 6,000 movies right now. I want to cut it down to 2,500 and get rid of the movies I can't see myself rewatching again. And realistically, how many movies can you rewatch in your lifetime? Again, I am going to be buying some movies. I'm just not going to buy as many as I used to. And I'm just going to try to thin down the collection. There's a lot of new movies coming out. There's a lot of catalog movies, making their way onto Blu-ray. So, for instance, Summer School, I gotta pick that up. That's one of my all-time favorites. I love that. In fact, that's one that, I've got a multiple editions of. I got a movie poster of it. I got a couple signatures on that. I got 2 different DVDs of it, and I'm gonna probably keep both of those ones because, again, it's one of my all-time favorites. Grew up on that one. Love the heck out of that movie. Mark Harmon, Kurt Ciali, a bunch of recognizable people in there. Chainsaw and Dave. The scene in there where they're freaking out the substitute teacher with the horror effects. I thought that was amazing, mind-blowing as a kid. And, I was already interested in horror at that time. And I saw that, I got even more interested in it. And that was like one of those movies that my parents let me watch. So I don't think they knew about that scene. But that's just an example for a movie that I'm going to buy. But yeah, let's get into it, though. If you've seen any of these, definitely let me know what you think of them. Let's see, we've got 15 titles right here. We've got some steelbooks, some Blu-rays, DVDs, vinyl records. So there you go. If we can get that in there. And let me know if you've seen any of these movies and what you think of them. And let me know which one of these is your favorite. Leave me those comments down below. Yeah, I'm going to show the vinyl records first. I don't have a record player anymore, so I'm going to keep 2 records. The John Carpenter's The Thing, Waxwork Records soundtrack, which is special edition. And then I'm going to keep The Movie Life, which is like my favorite band in college. Those are the only 2 I'm going to keep. I'm going to get rid of everything else, which is tough decision. Even though I don't have a record player anymore, there's some stuff that you just don't find out there. But I'm going to go ahead and show you. I've got David Bowie, Young Americans. And I got this at my local record store for 15 bucks. So I would like to get that out of this. And let me know what your favorite David Bowie song is. He's got some classics. I just watched The Man Who Fell to Earth for the first time, and that might make an appearance in one of these videos coming up soon. There's certain things I like about it, certain things I don't. I'm debating about it. I want to revisit certain elements of it again, kind of maybe check out some of the special features for it too. It's a beautiful set for it. It's not the Criterion, it's the Lionsgate release, but it has like a poster, a ton of special features. But yeah, David Bowie right there. Definitely some classic songs from him, and Young Americans as well is definitely a classic for sure. Next up, we've got Weird Al Yankovic in 3D. I think this goes for about 25 bucks when I checked up for it. And let me know what your favorite Weird Al song is. And, he was in UHF too. He's got a lot of crazy, funny parody songs out there. And again, I got a lot of these records, and then I got rid of the record player, and I was like, I feel like it's such a shame. I like a lot of these, and if I'm not going to listen to them, or I feel like they should go to somebody who is going to listen to them. And next up is Rodney Dangerfield in Back to School. This is the soundtrack for Back to School. And the director, Alan Metter, actually directed Girls Just Want to Have Fun, which I remember like every babysitter I had put that movie on. So I remember having fond memories of that one. Helen Hunt, Shannon Doherty, Sarah Jessica Parker. That was a fun one. But yeah, this is actually a promo one. So I think this goes for about like 25, 30 bucks. I don't know if you can see that little sticker in there. It's kind of like gold. Hopefully that's coming up on there. So I think that makes it a little bit more desirable. There's not too many of these ones out there. So Back to School, which is a really fun comedy movie. Rodney Dangerfield, just absolutely hilarious. Look at that. And this has a great cast overall. Sally Kellerman in here too. Hot Lips from MASH. And you've got Burt Young, Keith Gordon, Adrienne Barbeau, Robert Downey Jr., Sam Kinison, Ned Beatty. As Dean Martin, by the way. Ned Beatty plays Dean Martin. Music by Danny Elfman. But you got, you know, some Oingo Boingo, some great songs in here. And let me know what your favorite movie soundtrack is. There's some great ones out there. And your favorite movie score, too. Those are different. But let me know on both of those. But I remember this movie being hilarious, but I'm going to let this soundtrack go because I haven't been listening to it. It's just been sitting. I do love the promo stamp on there. I always like, you know, promo items like that. I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, those are a couple of the records. I'm going to go through more of the records and show them too. I got some comedy ones I know, some Richard Pryor ones, that I don't know if they have CD releases even. And a lot of that stuff, I feel like he drops a lot of profanity. So I don't know like if those will get re-released anytime. But let's get into the movies. Again, there's some movies in here that I do like. I just don't know if I'm going to rewatch them or I have multiple editions. This is one that I have in multiple editions of. It's the Super 8 Metal Pack Target exclusive. And I love the design for this. It's got that embossed, raised up. I'll go ahead and take this wrapping off of there. I was going to do an unboxing for this when I first got it, and I just never did. But I love the look to this. But I have the 4K, and I don't know, I'm trying to, you know, not have as many multiple editions and stuff like that, but that looks so freaking cool. This was a hard one to put in the Let Go pile, but there's back artwork. I got the J card. There's the digital copy, I guess, if anybody wants it. There you go. I don't think I ever used it. Forgot it was on there like that. And then you got some interior artwork and stuff too. Yeah, again, I love the design for it. I do like the movie. I can't say it's like my favorite modern coming-of-age sci-fi movie, but I do enjoy it. Written and directed by J.J. Abrams, produced by Steven Spielberg. Let me know what your favorite J.J. Abrams movie is, your favorite Steven Spielberg movie. I think this is a good sci-fi movie, again, dealing with a lot of drama, family issues, coming-of-age, too, with these young kids, and they're making their own movie, which I thought was really cool. I like that aspect to it as well. And again, the embossing on that is so awesome. I thought the casting here really worked for this one. But yeah, again, beautiful looking metal pack. Next up is The Gambler with Mark Wahlberg. This is actually a remake from an older James Caan movie. And I believe he got like the blessing from James Caan before he did it. And he lost like a lot of weight for this role. Not quite to the Christian Bale level of like Machinist. That one to me is an all-time classic, The Machinist. This one to me is good, but I feel like I like other movies dealing with like degenerate gamblers and stuff like that. But I really like Ryan Reynolds' Mississippi Grind. I like that one better. But I think it was a good performance from him. I just feel like I've seen so many movies with the same concept, similar in certain ways, and just done a little bit better. So yeah, that one's got to go for me. The Steelbook for it. I don't know if it came with digital copy or not, but I don't have it right here, so I'm not sure. Maybe it didn't, but there's the Blu-ray and then I guess the DVD of it right there. So it does have some interior artwork. I remember it being a good performance, but you know, not particularly loving the movie overall. Reminiscence, which is a newer sci-fi movie. I actually have another copy of this one with Hugh Jackman. I actually wasn't a fan of this one though, so I'm probably gonna get rid of both. It's a sci-fi movie, but it's so convoluted and it's messy and it doesn't really come to fruition. It falls a bit flat. There's a, you know, kind of like a murder conspiracy thing going on, or there's a girl that he's interested in and she kind of disappears, and played by Rebecca Ferguson, and he has this thing where he can uncover lost memories. You go in this like little like water tank machine kind of thing, and it's just a mess of a movie. I feel like the writing didn't work for it. Just so convoluted, and I wanted to like it. I love sci-fi movies. It's my second favorite genre after horror, but it was a mess. So that one can't make the shelf for sure. Next up is Wind Rider. This is an early Nicole Kidman movie. I want to say it's from mid 80s. I don't see right here on the back, but this is an umbrella release. I think it has a US release too, but this release looks nicer. I didn't compare the special features or anything like that, but it's an Ozploitation classic umbrella release. It's got some glossiness right there on the slip cover, and again, a ton of special features, unique artwork choice. But yeah, it's just about, you know, it's set in Australia. I love that. I'm a fan of Australia. Let me know your favorite Australian movies, or give me a few recommendations. I especially love, you know, horror, thriller, and stuff like that. But yeah, there's liner notes and some more interior artwork and stuff back there. But yeah, I'm always fascinated with Australia. I don't know, it's a completely different way of life, especially some of the older movies and showing the outback and stuff like that. Just remote and wild, untamed. just like Nicole Kidman's hair in this one. Nicole Kidman, she's got that wild frizzy red hair, but still a babe. She's a babe now, babe then. Although I don't want to say anything. I feel like she doesn't show as much emotion anymore. Maybe some plastic surgery done in her face. I don't know. I don't want to be rude or anything like that, but I feel like that's something that you have to notice in some of her roles, especially in the past few years. But I still like her as an actress. I think she's talented outside of that aspect. But yeah, an early role for Nicole Kidman. If you're a fan of her, she's scantily clad in here a bunch. But I just didn't think the movie was that great. It's set up around this guy named PC, and he's a windsurfer, and he's really good, and he's hooking up with Nicole Kidman, who's like a lounge singer, essentially. So that's really about it. Some romance elements. It's okay. It just wasn't for me. I feel like if maybe you grow up in Australia, maybe you'll appreciate it a little bit more, or if you're into windsurfing or a big Nicole Kidman fan. Next up is the Oliver Signature Series released for Raquel Welch in Hannie Calder. A beautiful release for this one. Great special features. Can't remember the last time Olive Films released a movie. And it's a shame because I feel like their Olive Signature line was amazing, and they didn't really release that many of them. So I feel like they just started to release and then they just stopped releasing movies. But beautiful addition, and it's a revenge tale. Raquel Welch gets assaulted and her husband gets killed, and this bounty hunter reluctantly trains her, and she's out for revenge against the three brothers that did it. And Jack Elam, who is one of the brothers, such a recognizable face. He was in my favorite Twilight Zone episode, Will the Real Martian Please Stand Up? But he's been in so many different things, really good character actor. Ernest Borgnine was one of the villainous characters too. He's amazing. Let me know what your favorite Raquel Welch movie is. Let me know what your favorite Ernest Borgnine movie is. But yeah, this is one that, it's a Western with a female lead. I just didn't like the way how it plays out, especially with certain characters. And then the ending too, it just didn't work for me. It fell flat. But again, a really beautiful release. And I think this one might be out of print. I think it goes for around like $35 or so. So there you go. Some of these Olive Signature ones go for a lot of money. But yeah, there's some amazing releases from them. I just wish they would release more. Next up, My Father the Hero. I remember liking this as a kid. I remember seeing this, with family when I was a kid, and it's crazy to think because it is creepy and weird and awkward. Gerard Depardieu and Katherine Heigl, and they go on vacation. Gerard Depardieu is the father of Katherine Heigl, and he's separated from the mother, divorced, and he hasn't seen her in like a while, like over a year, I think, and they go on vacation, and she's not really into it, reluctantly. She's in her rebellious teenage phase. I think she's 14 is how old she is in here. And they go there, and she tells people that that the father is her boyfriend. And so everybody on like the island like hates him, and he can't figure out why. And there's other relationship trauma too. And it's just, that whole theme is gross and weird, and it's just so bizarre. And then she tells him, because she's trying to get the love interest there, this other guy who's like, in his 20s or something, which is also creepy and weird. She's trying to make him jealous. So like, and then she tells the father, and the father kind of plays along with it for a little bit. This is one of those movies where I remember, watching it with family and, liking it, and now watching it again, it's creepy and bizarre and weird and ugh. But this is directed by Steve Miner, who's done a ton of TV work, but he's done a lot of horror and stuff. He directed the movie Soul Man with C. Thomas Howell, which I don't know if that'll ever get another release, like especially on Blu-ray, considering what it's about, the subject matter. Ray Don Chong is in there too, but he also did a lot of Steve Miner did a lot of horror movies. Friday the 13th Part 2, 3, the first House movie, Lake Placid. I know he Halloween H2O, a bunch of stuff. Warlock as well. So a really talented director. I kind of grew up with him. Again, he's done some TV work, but yeah, this was disappointing to revisit. Yeah, super bummed about this. But I do like Katherine Heigl a lot as an actress, and Gerard Depardieu as an actor. Let me know what your favorite Katherine Heigl movie is. Let me know your favorite Gerard Depardieu movie. Let me know what your favorite Steve Miner movie is. Next up is The Witch Subversion. Now, I think this was supposed to be a trilogy of movies, because apparently this is, the initial title was like part 1. And this one, to me, This was a hard one to put in the pile because I love a lot of aspects about it. And this movie's gotten a lot of hype. I've heard people compare it to John Wick. So I guess you could say this is the Korean high school girl version of John Wick, except it's really not. There's nowhere near as much action as the John Wick movies. The action here doesn't really start until about an hour into the movie. It's really just a lot of drama leading up to it. But then once it does culminate, it just blows up. And the director for this one, Park Hoon Jung, wrote the screenplay for I Saw the Devil, which is a phenomenal movie. He also directed The Tiger, which was one that came out a few years ago that I really enjoyed. But for me, it just doesn't quite live up to the hype of it for, this action movie. You're expecting more action, especially early on. I know it's developing, but it just takes so long to get there. And then I feel like those two scenes were so amazing, but I just wanted more from it. And the lead actress was really good in the role. This is a Korean movie, and it's about this girl in high school, and kind of shows in the beginning that she was involved with some testing, and she gets away from them, and this family, husband and wife who lost their son previously, kind of take her in as she was like 8, I think, at the time, and so she's getting ready to be like 18, and they don't know about everything with her past, and she can't remember everything, and she's going on this like national singing competition, kind of like American Idol or something like that, and then all these people that were looking for her now find her, and there's people showing up at her house trying to kill her, and other people with like crazy skills and abilities and stuff like that, and it's dramatic pacing for a while, and I definitely can understand how they can turn some people off, but I feel like it's deliberate. But I also feel like they could have made things happen a little bit quicker, a little bit sooner. And I think that could have definitely helped. But then that one initial scene happens, it was amazing. One of the best action scenes in a movie I've ever seen, but it was so short. And then you wait a little bit, and then the climax happens, and that was awesome too. And then the ending, I feel like you can understand it if you think about it, but I feel like I don't know, it just left me wanting a bit more from it, and it takes a while to really develop. And I understand, and then what they were, what they're trying to do with it, and then with the concept for it and why everything plays out, you can kind of see, oh, it was planned and all that, but it's like, oh, come on. So that bit was a bit convoluted, and again, you have to suspend disbelief, and you can only do it so much. But the action sequences were amazing in this movie. Unfortunately, I feel like there needed to be more of it and sooner. I know a lot of people love this one, but I think, again, I love the climax, and I love that one other scene, but the rest of it could have been better for me. And I feel like the acting in certain spots could have been a little bit better as well. So this is one that I'm kind of torn on because I do enjoy it. I do like it. I just feel like it could have been better overall. And I feel like I'm in the minority in that one. I feel like that gets so much love. Again, some of the blurbs on here, just, it has, a lot of action towards the end, but you have to wait a while to get there. Next up is Accepted. This, I was not a fan of this movie at all. Justin Long's in here, Blake Lively, Jonah Hill. It's basically these kids that can't get into college, and they make up their own college, and it's hijinks ensue. Jonah Hill pledging this fraternity. This is directed by Steve Pink, who directed Hot Tub Time Machine 1 and 2, but he also wrote the screenplay for two amazing John Cusack movies, Grosse Pointe Blank, and then High Fidelity. High Fidelity is like one of my favorite like breakup movies ever. Love those movies, both of them. But yeah, so I feel like he's a talented writer for sure, and the comedy movies that he's directed, not so good for me. Hot Tub Time Machine 1 and 2 are kind of middling. And this one to me was below average. I didn't like it, but you get to see a lot of early performances from people who would go on to do bigger things. Blake Lively, Jonah Hill, and then, of course, Justin Long right there. Let me know what your favorite Jonah Hill movie is, your favorite Blake Lively movie, your favorite Justin Long movie. Jonah Hill on War Dogs was surprised, like that. His performance there was amazing, probably his best performance for me. And I don't think he should have been nominated for an Academy Award in Moneyball. That's the same year Melissa McCarthy got nominated for an Oscar for Bridesmaids. Both of those should have been, that was tarnishing the Oscars in my opinion. But yeah, this one just wasn't for me. I feel like this gets so much love. People love it, but it's like, I feel like it's the same, maybe it's just like a little bit younger people than me, just slightly younger, where they hit that mark where they like certain movies that I despise and loathe, and they consider to be, you know, nostalgia classics, like She's the Man. And there's Josie and the Pussycats. I feel like there's a wave of those movies coming out, and I saw all these posts raving about, oh, I love this, you know, growing up, oh, it's still so great. And I'm just thinking, like, I didn't watch those as a kid, and watching them now, they're dumpster fire of movies. Poop emoji right here. But yeah, this one to me, again, below average. It just falls flat. You know, they try to have a heartwarming message towards the end, and it just doesn't work. And I don't know, the laughs really just weren't there for me. But you get to see some people that went on to do bigger things when they were younger. Next was Saving Silverman. I do love the heck out of this one. And I remember I watched this with my girl and she hated it. But she did like Arlie Emery's character here. He was great as the coach. And he comes back. And then with what's going on with you know, Jack Black, and then, you know, Steve Zahn, Jason Biggs, Amanda Peet. And it's basically just about Jason Biggs and the relationship with Amanda Peet, and how she's so demanding and basically takes over his life and says, you know, you can't hang out with your friends anymore. You can't do this anymore. And you know, there was a former relationship involved there, just crazy hijinks. It was a ridiculous movie. This is directed by Dennis Dugan, who's worked with Adam Sandler a lot. He's starred in some of his movies, but directed some of his movies as well, a bunch of Adam Sandler movies. So yeah, this is one that I grew up on. This is nostalgia for me, and I still enjoy the heck out of this one. I remember watching this in the theaters. I think I got like an advanced screening for it as well. With I saw it with my girlfriend at the time back in the day, and I just fond memories of it, and I still love it. A really fun movie for me. Let me know what your favorite Jack Black movie is, because I feel like you're obviously for Jason Biggs, you know, American Pie and stuff like that. He's been in other stuff too. Steve Zahn, I feel like, is actually pretty talented, but he's played some, you know, really quirky, outrageous characters. Amanda Peet, stunning. I'm a big fan of her as well. So, Saving Silverman. Only reason I'm getting rid of this one, I clearly I love it. I'm just, you know, praising it and raving about it, is because I got the Blu-ray for it. So that's the only reason I'm getting rid of the DVD. I was tempted to keep the DVD, but I was like, I got to stop doing that. Because I have so many different multiple edition stuff, and I gotta stop. So let me know if there's any movies you collect multiple editions of, like you'll keep the DVD, the Blu-ray, VHS, even stuff like that. There's a few different movies I do that with. Again, Summer School, I have a couple DVDs. I'm probably gonna keep those, and I'm gonna get the Blu-ray for it. But It's a Wonderful Life, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, John Carpenter's The Thing. I have multiple editions of those. I don't have a record player, but I'm gonna keep that soundtrack for John Carpenter's The Thing. There's my Japanese poster for it. I've got, you know, VHS tape. I got VHS tapes of It's a Wonderful Life. So I want to get the old VHS tape for Killer Clowns from Outer Space. There's like two different editions. I can't remember the media one. I think is the one that's like the harder one to find. That's the one I want to get. And next up is Girl 6, a Spike Lee joint. Let me know what your favorite Spike Lee movie is. This is one that I remember watching as a kid and loving it. I had fond memories of it. Watching it now, it doesn't quite hold up to it, although there are some quirky, crazy, outrageous scenes in here. I always remember when Spike Lee goes into the phone, he's Jimmy, no live here no more. Certain other scenes. I seem to remember like the Peter Berg romance aspect being played up a bit more in my memory. But there's cameos by Madonna, Quentin Tarantino, and Halle Berry. And I feel like I just watched this not that long ago. I don't even remember the cameo from Halle Berry, which is shocking because Halle Berry, absolutely stunning. But the Madonna scene, outrageous, so crazy. Quentin Tarantino, I feel like he's great in that kind of role too, doing kind of like a casting director. But it's basically about Teresa Randall right here. She wants to become an actress, but she doesn't want to show nudity and stuff like that. And she becomes a sex phone operator. She has to pay the bills, and she gets really into it, and has different connections with some of the callers, and some of them become obsessive and crazy. And then Spike Lee is the neighbor and friend, and I remember he's like really into like sports memorabilia. He has like the Ken Griffey Jr. card, and some of the stuff on the wall too. I just thought that was actually really awesome. I liked that element because I was always into that since a kid. And then Isaiah Washington was Kleptomaniac X of hers, and some good supporting cast throughout. A lot of recognizable people: Michael Imperioli, John Turturro, again Peter Berg. I mentioned Debbie Mazar, Naomi Campbell, Jennifer Lewis, and Gretchen Mol, Ron Silver. So a bunch of recognizable people in here, but this one, it just doesn't hold it to my memory of it. I remember liking it a lot more as a kid. I still think it's a decent movie, but one that I don't know if I'm going to see myself rewatching again. Oh, Richard Belzer's in here too for one of the clients real quick on there. But yeah, I don't know. It's one that just, I remember loving it. So there's so many movies like I remember liking a lot as a kid. Walk Like a Man, Drop Dead Fred. I'm watching them now. They just don't hold up to me, especially Drop Dead Fred. That's just so crazy obnoxious to me now. And I know it's getting a Blu-ray release from Vinegar Syndrome, and people are raving, going crazy about that. I remember I think Severin was going to release it initially, and then there was a rights issue or something. So, but now it's getting an official release with a slipcover and all that. So, I don't know. I'm just not going to pick that one up, and I'm debating about getting rid of that DVD for it too. I remember liking it as a kid, like maybe like my kid will like it more. But I thought that was such an obnoxious movie now. But yeah, again, one of those ones that just doesn't hold up for me. Next up are two super cheesy, terrible Christmas movies. Actually, let me show this one first. A Dog Walker's Christmas Tale with Jonathan Bennett, who's been in a bunch of stuff. I think he's actually a good actor. And then Lexi Giovanni, who was one of my earlier phone interviews that I did. She was in a low-budget slasher movie called Bloody Homecoming. Good throwback to like 80s slashers. I actually really enjoy that one. If you like low-budget slashers with homages to the 80s slashers and stuff like that, I'd say check that one out. But again, it is low budget, so take that into consideration. But I definitely enjoy that one. I think she said that I was her first interview that she had ever done. That was like one of her earlier things she had worked on, and I've seen her in a bunch of things since. I think she's a talented young actress, but this movie just wasn't that good. She's kind of like a spoiled college student, and she's working for this like rich company that's gonna tear down the dog park, and the dog park really wasn't much of a dog park. It was just grass that was kind of fenced off, a very small looking area. And she ends up, kind of falling for him, this guy who is a dog walker. And, they kind of have conflicting ideas on certain stuff. And at first, they're not really feeling it. And then, obviously it's very formulaic, predictable, but I just don't think it's that great. Christmas theme right there. But not one I'm going to rewatch. And then next up is Snowman's, and this is from Monarch Video, and they're not around anymore, unfortunately. This wasn't terrible, but basically, the lead actress and her best friend growing up, they build this snowman every year on Christmas or right around Christmas. And it's clear that, he still has feelings for her, and, she's going through all these different failed relationships that don't work. And so I feel like it's very formulaic. And then the concept it's kind of silly. It's like the whole concept is kind of like her having a relationship with Frosty the Snowman. That's the best way to really put it. And I thought this one was decent. It had some good moments in there, but it's kind of silly and it's formulaic, and it's not the best. So it's just basically this guy who seems to be like so perfect pops into her life, and he says, "I'm from your town. You've lived here since a kid. I was just gone for a while," and he knows like so much about her, and she's all into it, and he's very skeptical, of course. And I like the one other girl in here too. It's her coworker, who's she's so good in the role. She's kind of like this I don't know, like lumberjack chick almost. I really liked that character though. She was great. And so it's formulaic. It's the concept to really think about it is kind of weird. It's not terrible, but it's just not one of the better Christmas movies out there. I feel like I'd rather watch so many other Christmas movies than this one. And there's so many different Lifetime, Hallmark Christmas movies, and these ones don't make the cut though, for all the different low budget Christmas movies out there. So there I got some steelbooks, Blu-rays, some DVDs, some vinyl records. I'm gonna go through some more vinyl records. So if you're interested in any of these, let me know, make me an offer, and maybe we can work out a deal. That's one of the things when I first did these videos, I didn't really think about, and I was getting people messaging me on Instagram like a bunch, asking for certain things. So yeah, these are all still available. The only one I feel like, again, I mentioned the prices on some of them already, like this one, a couple of vinyls are around like, this I think goes for like $35. I think the steelbooks, I don't know, the Target exclusive one for this one, I don't know what it goes for, maybe 15, 20, something like that. Gambler, I don't think it's too much value, but there you go. Let me know if you're interested in anything. And big shout out to Joe and Marie from Martinez Joe 74. They came up with this concept of what didn't make the shelf, and they have great videos, great channel, great collection. Check them out if you haven't. Super nice people. And I think it's cathartic for me to do these videos because every day I go through the collection, pick a couple things out, and then it creates a stack, and I do these videos. You guys seem to like these videos. They have positive feedback, and I'm going to keep doing them. It's helpful. And again, I used to do a video series like this called Keep or Toss. It wasn't as good because I would, try to get you guys to say, keep this or keep, get rid of that one. And I'm trying to rationalize keeping certain things. And I feel like if I'm just debating about getting rid of them, I should just get rid of them. Like The Witch. I'm actually kind of torn on this one, but I feel like I liked it, but I have issues with it. Same thing with the Super 8. I do enjoy the movie, and I just love how awesome that looks, but I got to make some tough decisions. I got to get rid of stuff, especially if I want to, continue to buy movies too. I got to make the room. So, not quite Sophie's choice, but I'm making some tough decisions here. Let me know, actually, if you stayed to the video. Here's a little surprise. I'm debating about getting rid of this one. This is the Serena Williams autographed tennis ball from Ace Authentic. This was a product. It was kind of like a baseball card pack. Like it was like a box. I want to say it was like $50 for a box or something like that. And you get a tennis ball autograph, but you don't know who it is. It's like a mystery box thing. And I remember doing a couple of these. I did videos unboxing them. This is over a decade ago now. And the only ones I see on eBay for the Ace Authentic, it's a different encapsulation thing for it. They were going for $150. I think this looks nicer in this square box like this with the hologram on there. Because the other one is like a weird cap thing. I don't think it looks as nice. This display is much better in my opinion. And I think this autograph looked better than the ones that they had on there, cleaner. So I don't know. I feel like $150 for what I consider to be the greatest female tennis player ever. I was thinking this would go for about double that. So I don't know. Maybe I'll wait on selling that one. I'm not that big on tennis. And even though I think she's probably the best female tennis player ever, I don't really have that much attachment to her. So I don't know. I think I'm going to let that one go. I was just keeping it because, she's the best female tennis player. And but I'm just not that super big into tennis. So I feel like it's just been sitting in my closet for years. So it's time to let that one go, I think. But I guess include that. I wasn't going to really show it, but it's right here. I was debating about it. But I want to get through, I'm getting rid of the movies and other stuff in my collection. But I've got so much, like I've basketball cards and sports cards from when I was a kid, comic books and stuff like that. But I've also got, a lot of like comic book cards, holograms and insert, things like that from back in, the 90s, early 2000s, stuff around that mid-90s. So a lot of those ones I want to get rid of too now. They look cool. I have memories of them, but I'm not doing anything with them. They're just being stored away. I feel like certain people could appreciate them more than me just having them sit in my closet. So that's kind of the key with this stuff too. So there you go. Let me know if you've seen any of these movies and what you think of them. Maybe you like some of them more than I do, and that's okay. And I like hearing differing opinions, and let me know why you like them. That's why I'm on here too. Talk movies. That's the number one thing. Movies and collecting. I still enjoy making videos. I've been making videos on here for like 14 years now, which is mind-blowing. But I still love it. So yeah, let me know if you've seen any of them and what you think of them and which one is your favorite from this. Leave me those comments down below, and I hope everybody's doing well. Take care.